today. So every day we start fresh because we can't affect the past, but we damn sure can make a difference today.
Welcome to episode 89 of Shop Talk. It's Jennifer.
And Carrie.
And we're back after a little bit of a longer break. But, we needed a hiatus just as much as the cast and writers and crew did. So this week we're doing an episode requested by our good friend Emily from the Rookie Rewatch account. She wanted to know our thoughts about the season as a whole, storylines or predictions that we expected to see but didn't, our favorite moments, and more. So we'll kind of go ahead and dive into that. It'll kind of be a similar episode to our wish list episodes, but that we share before the season starts, but it'll be a little bit different because we're just basically talking about our favorite moments of the season. So it was kind of crazy to go back because I was watching this Rookie Greatest Moments of season 5 video on YouTube, and I forgot all of the stuff that happened in the first half. It was oh my gosh, there was a lot that happened. So yeah. But we do have a little bit of news to start off with. Do you want to take us through the first one?
Yeah, ABC had posted their schedule for the fall time, and the prime time, the scripted television series like The Rookie and The Rookie Feds aren't listed. So they, as of right now, are predicted for hopefully a mid-season return, so 2024, which would obviously mean less episodes in season 6, and or since The Rookie Feds renewal is still up in the air, maybe a season 2 for them.
Yeah. Didn't they say too that this is a strike proof schedule? So I'm wondering if it could change. If the strike ends.
It could, July, but just as I said, as of right now, that's just what it is.
Yeah. Again, we're all for the writers getting what they're, compensated, but yeah. So and then the Rookie Feds renewal is still to be determined. I did see somewhere that they were pushing it out a week because of upfronts or something, but I don't remember when that was. I think it was last week.
Yeah, they pushed their decision date back, so
yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah, the writer's strike, I think, is going to have quite a bit to do with that too. I just hope that they get picked up, even if it's a month or two down the road and we still don't know, fine. I just hope that they still get picked up because this show was good. So, but yeah, so ABC's pushed out their decision, so we don't know if they'll return for season 2 yet, but still manifesting. So,
and obviously, we mentioned the writer's strike. It's continuing on as we speak, where we are in full support of everyone getting the compensation and benefits that they deserve, because without the writers, there would be nothing for the characters to say on our favorite shows. So
I was going to say, we haven't recorded since the finales. And since then, the Rookie cast and Rookie Feds cast has went out to strike, to the picket line. So that was cool to see them just supporting the crew and everything. But yeah, it was also fun to see the two casts merge together, not on set or anything. So yeah. And then Eric and Roslyn released a new episode of their podcast, He Said Ayadiho. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already. I had missed the news, but apparently Fantasy Island is not picked up for another season. So that's sad.
Yeah.
But
and Dylan Conrick has a new song out. Her EP's out. Well, she's releasing a video for one of the songs off her EP.
Yeah.
Also this week. So just be sure to follow her for all her new music, because there's a lot coming out. So
it's good. Her stuff is so good. So yeah, that's about it for the news. On hiatus, and there's the writer's strike going on, so there's really not much going on as far as rookie show news. But we'll just kind of dive right into the episode. So we'll start off with the storylines or predictions that we expected to see but didn't. Do you want to start us off with the first one?
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of, for the rookie anyway, I just kind of thought we'd like see Balin's wedding, or at least like more of the process of planning it. Um,
Yeah.
I also thought we'd kind of get to see Wesley in the courtroom for a case when he moved to the DA's office. But I mean, we got to see him working cases. It just, I don't know. Maybe it's just because like I watch Law and Order, and so I'm like used to um the, attorneys actually being in the courtroom.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. But and then since we saw Chenford interact with Brunson in that one episode, I wanted at least like one more scene of that. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at least we got one, but like more, please.
mhm.
Please. Hopefully we get some like good Maleric and like Kevin and Laura or Kevin and Britt stuff on Family Feud whenever that episode comes out.
Yeah. Well, because like, I mean, Eric's really competitive.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if like, I mean, I feel like the Feds cast is like kind of chill, but also like would just amp it up for the fun of it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I feel like if you have like Niecy and James in there, yeah, they're like amping it up. I feel
yeah.
like James is probably really competitive. I
I
don't know
don't know.
why, but I don't know. I can kind of see it. So it'll be
Yeah.
fun. It'll be
hmm
fun to watch that. Yeah, so I just said more of Aaron and Lucy's friendship. I mean, we did see it, but like not as much as I thought we would with Nolan having a rookie, and both of them being P2s. So that's something that I was kind of hoping to see, but and then I don't know if I was totally expecting it, but it did kind of surprise me like that we didn't see more of the Nolan union rep kind of storyline. Like we saw a couple of mentions of it, and
hmm
I don't know, we had some things, but I don't know. I
Yeah,
guess I
like when
just thought,
Selena was in hot water, he was like
yeah,
there for a hot second, but then it was like, oh, we switched back into TO mode. So it
yeah.
just, I don't know. Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I guess I just thought we'd see something like John listen, like what we did in season 4, where he was listening to people's dislikes and like about the union and stuff. But I guess that was more when he was like running to become a union rep.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of figured we would see a little bit more of it. But then again, like I'm thinking over to like Chicago Fire because Mouch is their union rep. Like he's in it and they do talk about it a little bit, but it's not as much. I don't know. I just kind of figured that the rookie would give us like a comedic storyline or something about that. So and then I feel like we all thought we would see everyone finding out about Chenford. And I mean, we were all disappointed that we did not get that. I'm really surprised that we didn't see that, or at least everyone's individual thoughts or comments about the couple. Maybe not everyone, but just like a couple of people. Like even when they went undercover together ish towards the end of the season, like I mean, Nyla didn't have a comment about that, or Aaron or something. Like, I don't know, that to me just kind of seemed like a lost opportunity, but yeah, there's not time for everything. So yeah. What about favorite storylines? Which ones did you have?
I mean, obviously, Canon Chenford, the first. I really liked the doppelganger storylines.
Hmm.
When we got to see Dim and Juicy slash Jake and Sava, a couple times during this season. Um, just any scene with like Lopez being all like domestic and parent goals, like family
Hmm.
goals, were good. Loved seeing Selena as the new rookie, and then just like Selena and Aaron and Nyla and Angela, like their BFF eras
Yes.
were great.
Yes. Selena and Aaron's little like handshake. I'll never be over that.
Yeah.
It's fine. Some of my favorites, I mean, obviously Ken and Chenford. I would be like lying if I said that wasn't a huge thing. Selena's backstory, loved getting that. Aaron working with Nyla and Angela, especially that the first like episode or whatever where he was like trying to crack the case and they were like, nope, you've got 5 questions or whatever. Chenford going undercover. 501 was probably my favorite. You know what we should do is rank, well, I don't know. I don't know if you can totally do that, but like rank the Chenford undercover moments from like favorite to least.
Like of this season or like of all like ever?
Like this season, like them going undercover together. Wait, have they've went undercover in other seasons together?
No, I just didn't know if you meant
Like
them
individually?
separately. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, no, like together. I don't know. Jake and Sava, like the Vegas one is my top one. But yeah.
Mm.
So and then seeing Nolan having a rookie, that was one of my favorites. I mean, it just gave us good memeable moments. Tim as Sergeant, and then like everyone figuring out where to move him solely because it was a group scene and we just don't have those. And it
Mm.
included like the significant others. That was fun. And then Chenford coaching the baseball team. Like I remembered that, but it was like so far back in my
I
memory
forgot about
catalog
that.
that I forgot about it until I saw a picture and I was like, that's right. They had that moment this season. So
I forgot about
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what surprised you the most about season 5?
Um, well, like as I was looking back, I was just surprised at how much truly happened this season because it almost felt like two separate seasons, like pre-canon and then canon Chenford. Um, so I mean it was like good. I was just surprised because like I didn't remember some of the stuff. I was thinking,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that happened in season 4. And I was like, heck no, it didn't. It happened at the beginning of season 5 or,
Yeah.
507 or something. I just like from, 508 on, it was like just it dynamic shifted, obviously, because
Mm-hmm.
relationships did. Um, yeah. I don't know. I was just surprised, like I didn't like a couple of storylines as much as I thought I would.
Yeah.
Because like I loved seeing Isabel, but like I just the storyline was just kind of like, nah,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Like I don't know. It just did I don't know. I don't it wasn't too short because like with Lucy's storyline in the next episode, like her undercover storyline, I wanted
Yeah.
to like it, but it felt too short or like too like easy to be wrapped up like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
But with
like it should have been
Isabel's,
brought
I don't
in
know.
like not before the last episode, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. It just those two. I don't know if it was like intentional. I mean, it probably was a little bit considering it was the same actor that
Mm-hmm.
like from both. But just I don't know. It just felt weird to like kind of like you said, just like drop it towards the end of the season and then
Yeah.
like pick it up real quick and then it's done.
Yeah. Unless they're using the guy that like she's trying to figure out as like a villain in season 6. I don't know. It just seemed, yeah, it did seem like oddly placed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like going back to yours where it felt like two separate seasons. Yeah. But I always feel like that during like season finale time. Like at the end of the episode, at the end of the seasons, I'm like, okay, where did we start and like how did we get here? Because like time is a weird thing and I'm like, I feel like I've
Mm.
forgotten everything. So,
I mean, this is like the first time I don't know that I could just like because usually I mean, and my friends can confirm this. I have this memory where I can just recall things that have happened in
yeah.
shows and stuff. And I was finding it very difficult to recall things that had happened earlier in the
Mm-hmm.
season because I was legitimately thinking it happened last season or the,
Yeah.
season before, like, oh, that really happened in season 5. Am I sure? Let me look at the episode. Like,
Yeah.
I had to go back and like look at the promo photos, look at episode descriptions,
Mm-hmm.
look at, tweets. And I usually don't have to do that. So it was just
Yeah.
really, yeah, it was just, this was the first time for me where it felt like two completely separate um
Yeah. Yeah.
seasons.
There were like some breaks in there, but then also like we decided to do this episode kind of like last minute.
Mm,
So I think that was some of it too. It was like, oh wait, we have to like remember all of these things. So yeah.
mm,
Yeah,
mhm.
I know like for me, I was watching that video before we started recording and I texted you, I was like, Nyla had her baby in season 5? Because to me that seems like a season 4 thing.
Yeah.
But
She was
yeah.
still pregnant as season
Yeah.
4 came to a close. It was just
Yeah.
yeah, there's just a lot.
Mm-hmm. And then Angela having her baby. Like yeah, there
Mhm.
was just a lot that went on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say some things that surprised me. I mean, I probably shouldn't have been surprised by it because we got a good amount of it for Aaron, but like Selena's backstory, I don't know. I just always love backstory, and it was nice to kind of see that being played out for Selena. Um, and I hope that if she's back in season 6, that we either get more of it or it's like spins off from that.
Mhm.
So and then also how they wrapped up Rosalind and Elijah's like arcs in one season. Like, I don't know, I'm not
I didn't even see it. This is what I mean. I kind of
yeah,
forgot that like the Rosalind thing had played out over a couple episodes at the beginning of the
yeah.
season. So
I don't know why I'm surprised by
yeah.
it because they were like but they were the two biggest villains, I feel like. Like who's going to be the villain in season 6? Is it the guy that Lucy's like watching while she's undercover? That's the only person that I can think of.
I mean, it's
But
probably the
then
guy that was talking in the car or whatever about, how you know, once they don't know that the threat is really, in Los
yeah.
Angeles, they're gonna, once they figure
Yeah.
it out, it'll be too late. I don't know.
Yeah.
So those people, whoever the heck they are.
Yeah. But then my prediction is that Elijah stuff isn't totally wrapped up. I mean, we saw him like talking to Oscar, so I feel like
Oh my God, that's
that's not
right.
going away.
Yeah, I forgot about that too. How could I forget that Oscar made an appearance?
Yeah, I don't
Oh my
know.
gosh.
But then, like, I don't know how anticlimactic Rosalind's storyline was. Like, I don't know. That just kind of, it seemed to like dull kind of for everything that was going on with her. And then she was just shot like in the middle of the street. I don't know. It just seemed anticlimactic. But yeah, but those were like the two biggest like villain storylines that were wrapped up. I guess Abril too, if you count her, but she was kind of like roped in with Elijah.
Yeah.
So yeah. And another thing that I was surprised by that I didn't know I needed until I had it was Chenford coaching a kids baseball team. Like I did not know that we needed that. It was great, and I would like to see it again.
Yeah.
Like Tim going to his nephew's baseball game and bringing Lucy and like I don't know, something, just assistant coach something.
More
But
sports for
yes.
Chenford.
Yeah. It doesn't even have to be baseball. It can be football, it can be basketball, literally anything. It could be tennis. I don't know, just anything.
Jennifer's not picky. She doesn't care.
Yeah. And then Jenny Bradford not calling out Chenford was a huge missed opportunity, unless I'm just forgetting it.
I mean, she didn't verbally say it. She, had like
Yeah.
a look of a knowing
Yeah.
look, but
Because at that point they were dating, right? Wait, when was that? That was not the back half of the season, was it?
yeah.
So they were
Because
dating
he was
then.
like, "This is my friend Lucy," and it's like,
Mm.
friend is the operative word.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I mean, it was early on for them,
Yeah.
but
Definitely need to do a rookie season 5 rewatch.
you know what I mean? It's just proving my point. Like, it's just like Canon Chenford, while as amazing as it has been, just like completely just warped my
Yeah.
sense of
It
what's
blurred out
what.
literally everything else for
Yeah.
me. So
It just,
I, yeah, I don't know. I also feel like it's easier to binge it after all of the episodes have aired because you don't have to wait like a week
fair.
for hiatus or 2 weeks or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's definitely going to be like going back and rewatching. So,
Mhm.
what about your favorite moments for each of the rookie characters?
Well, for Lucy, I just loved when she actually like admitted that Tim's the most important relationship in her life, and so it was like a like more heartfelt moment. More on the like comical side, just any moment from the documentary episode for her as well, just because she was very like taken aback or caught off guard a lot of the time, but then also kind of, very, very in character for Lucy being kind of like, oh no, I can't say that, or oh, I,
Mhm.
won't answer that, or just, that kind of thing. It's very her.
Also, them being
So,
separated in that documentary episode was interesting.
yeah. Yep. Um, and I mean, for Tim, obviously when he finally asked Lucy out on a date, and I also liked when he told Gray about them dating.
Hmm.
And then when when we first saw him like in the Metro uniform, and like, he was in Metro, like a part of the team,
Yeah.
doing his thing. So yeah, that was good. Um, and then for Nyla, I mean, like, my favorite moment for her was just the fact that she was a total badass and had her baby while catching the criminal that was like
Hmm.
invading her space. And I was like, she just, yeah, I mean, it was great. Just the end when Gray had come in or whatever, and she was just like holding her baby, and she's like, it's a girl.
Yeah.
And just like straight face, like she was just
Yeah.
like, I have this baby, like everything's good now. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so it was great. Um, and then similarly for Angela, just when she found out she was pregnant, um, her badass takedown of Elijah, like their fight scene, and then solving the riddle, I really
Hmm.
enjoyed in the finale. So, and then for Wesley, I also liked his fight scene in the Lopez house, um, and his like role in the takedown of Elijah. Um, yeah. So, um, gosh, for Nolan, I mean, really, just when he finally got his stride of being a TO and like helping Selena with their sister's case, like just
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, because like sometimes the like I don't know what to call it, like fatherly bits of advice or like words of wisdom could seem like a little bit contrived or something, but like
Hmm.
it actually worked really well, I thought. um so yeah. And then for Bailey, any of the like little like just the littler everyday moments for like her with John, just I mean, yeah, just any of the little domestic scenes that they had were,
Yeah.
I mean, them with wine was a whole mood. So, I mean, yeah, I
Well,
like
and
that.
just them like trying to have a normal date, like that
Hmm.
just continued into season 5. And I'm
Yeah.
sure hopefully will continue into season 6 because I feel like that's just kind of a running gag for them.
Hmm. Yeah. For Aaron, just like any of the time, well, the like Bradson when he was paired with Tim, that was cool. Um, and obviously I liked his friendship with Selena, even though it kind of like a little bit came out of the blue since she like kind of,
Hmm.
because everyone thought they were dating or whatever. And then she's
Yeah.
like, no, we're just friends. And he's like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Um, and then he got caught in the middle of Chenford trying
Hmm.
to, lie to Lucy and be like, oh yeah, no, Tim's fine. We're good.
Yeah.
Everything's good. And it's like, no, dude, like you gotta work on your poker face. So
Wait, was the episode or the scene of them like hanging off the rooftop in the car this episode or this season? It was, right? Because they were
yeah,
doing a stakeout. Yeah.
yeah, that
Okay.
was
It's like
five of
mid-season
nine.
finale, right?
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then for Selena, I mean, I always like when characters are introduced, so I usually
Hmm.
tend to like their first episodes of things. Um, Loved her first episode. And then like when she finally got closure for her sister's case, the scene at her sister's gravesite with her mom was really touching. And
Yeah.
yeah. Um and literally, oh my God, for Gray, his love for the poster that resembled, or the portrait rather, that resembled him, and all his moments because of that in the documentary episode were hilarious. And I just
Hmm.
like the selfie and the fact that he framed the portrait because it
Yeah.
was ruined. And then I mean just it was great. Um And then, but I mean, I also really liked when I mean, not that I liked that Dominique was missing, but just the fact that like he and Luna got to like team up and really just go all
Mhm.
like, protective parents,
Yeah.
um, and just, find their kid and
Yeah.
just really lean on each other. So,
And like he had his own storyline in that moment. So, and we
mhm,
don't see that very often for him. So it
yeah.
was nice. Some of my favorite moments, I mean, Lucy being undercover, like she went undercover a lot this season.
Mhm.
So, but 501 is iconic, literally one of my favorite ones. Also like any Mom Chen moments. I need more Lucy and Tamara in season 6, and not just like a few moments here and there, and it's like one scene or two. I need like more consecutive moments. I need like an episode or two that's like more like Mom Chen with Tamara. And so yeah. And I mean, I would like for Tim to be in it too, but I'm also okay if Tim's not in it because they like Lucy and Tamara have such a bond. So yeah. Um, my favorite moments for Tim were when he was leading the Metro team, like through clearing a building and even doing like the training through the maze. Um,
Mhm.
I liked that just because one, it showed more of like the police side, and two, not that the rookie doesn't show the police side, but it shows like more of the training. And then two, it just like showed him in a different like realm. Like he was out of his comfort zone, kind of. So yeah. And then Tim being dubbed as Officer Cupcake by Smitty with the poster was gold.
I forgot about that too.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
Wow.
So yeah. And then for Nyla, I had a couple because as I was like remembering the season for her, I was like, okay, this woman has had like some really iconic moments. So one was all of her like her responses to Skip, Trace, or Randy. I mean, it's always good, and like her reactions and expressions are always on point, but like somehow it's different when he arrives. So
Mhm.
more of him in season 6, please. I don't know what else they could do with him, but like something, because we need him back. The bank robbery with Nyla and James and how she just like took charge was amazing. And yeah, I mean, really just like any moments of hers, like I don't know what else to say. She's a baddie. So and then for Angela, I loved her finding out she was pregnant with baby number 2, like her reaction, calling Wesley a baby wizard, telling him like really the entire storyline, and just how she was like, oh, I'm not sure about it, but like, I was just thinking we would just have the one or whatever. And then like how she kind of like became okay with it over time. So um that was good. And then Wesley interacting with Monica, I was not expecting her to come in and then to find out that he was previously engaged to her and more about his past relationship. I loved learning about that, but I was also kind of like, okay, where are we going with this? Like, it just seemed a little odd. But then obviously as the season went on, like we got to see more of it. So and then for Nolan in Die Hard, when he was assigned Selena, that was one of my like more favorite moments. It was interesting to see him like navigating a rookie for the first time, especially someone as eccentric as Selena. And the cold open in Die Hard was funny, but not as funny as the cold open in Daddy Cop, and her like singing the song. And yeah. So and then for Bailey in the episode The Choice, with her in the barrel of water, or like the tank, um, and everything she went through, like, not that I like seeing it, but Jenna killed it, number one. And number two, like the fact that it was Selena's second episode and she was helping Bailey through it all was great. And I feel like that's kind of where we started to see, and where the like Bailey Selena friendship started to grow. And then Balin kind of taking Selena like under their wing was starting to grow. So it was one of my favorites. And then for Aaron, I mean, just any of him and Lucy's interactions and them in the scenes where Tim's like moving offices was funny. How like Lucy's like flexing, and Aaron and Lucy are just doing like thumbs up. yeah, more interactions for them in season 6 would be great. Some of my favorite things with Selena were her main storyline playing out with her sister, seeing her dynamic with her mom play out, especially knowing everything that her mom went through. And then any moments with her and Balin, and I remember this so vividly. I loved when she couldn't like sleep at her own place, so she was just like barging in on Balin, and then like they were arguing one night, and she just like fell right asleep. Like that was
Mhm.
one of my favorite things. So
Yeah.
yeah. And then the mid-season finale with Gray and Luna finding Dominique was one of my favorites for him. Like I said, like we don't get many Gray-centric storylines, so it was definitely one of my favorites to watch.
Mhm.
But what about some least favorite moments for characters in the Rookie?
Well, it's kind of interesting because like a couple of my least favorites were like a couple of the ones that you liked. So that'll be interesting.
That's okay, yeah.
But I mean, for me, I mean, for Lucy anyway, just the slightly awkward moments at times she had with Chris, like
Hmm.
just, I don't even know, like, I guess they're not lack of intimacy, but like lack of physical contact. I don't know how to
Yeah.
describe it because it like we didn't really see a lot. Not that I needed to see anything, but just like it was just it took them longer to have those kind of moments. And then like
Hmm.
when he tried to initiate something, she was kind of just like, nah, okay, like, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, same with like the like saying the words I love you, which is like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we know now why, but it just, I mean, the FaceTime was like the most awkward thing when he was
Yeah.
looking at the house and she was like, nope,
Yeah.
I don't want the house. So it was just awkward. Like, I don't know. Not that it was like bad, it was just awkward. And you could just feel the awkward.
Yeah.
Um, which I mean, kind of similar for like Tim. I mean, just the one episode where he was obviously when he was having the surgery at the hospital and Ashley, you know, come by and just, I mean, obviously they were not on the same page. She was like, oh, okay, are you gonna retire now? Let's go, you know, take this trip to what was it, Bali or something? I don't know, I
Hmm.
can't remember. And
Yeah.
he was like, well, wait a second, like I haven't, you know, haven't done anything. I've barely been in, you know, haven't even had this surgery yet. Like, um, yeah, so just it was obvious that they were not on the same page and it was just kind of awkward again.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean that and the fact that I mean she broke up with him and left him at the hospital. Like that was
Yeah.
awkward.
That
And I
was
didn't
just
like that.
not a good move.
Yeah, didn't like that for him at all. Um but for Nyla, I still don't I mean, I get that the whole point of the season finale was that the, you know, perpetrators were you know, hell bent on tormenting all of the, you know, mid Wilshire people, but just why to have Leah be taken
Right.
only to be left out
Like,
you
why
know,
involve
under
the
a tree.
child?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
yeah.
just yeah, just not okay. I mean, um and then for I mean for Angela, like I don't like seeing her and Nyla like fight. And so
Hmm.
when Nyla was like, you know, yelling at her about, you know, surveying Elijah without, you know, her kind of knowledge. Yeah, I just didn't really like that because it's like because Angela usually is pretty upfront about things.
Yeah.
And so for her to be, you know, lying and kind of be a little more sneaky was like a little out of character for her, I thought. So
Hmm.
just not my favorite thing for them. And then I mean, for Wesley, I mean, his past with Monica is still just weird to me and just I didn't really understand why they had to work alongside each other so much. I mean, obviously they were on opposing sides of, you know, cases and things, but still it was just awkward. Like, I don't know. I just wasn't
Yeah.
expecting it to see her so often.
Yeah.
So, um yeah. And then for Nolan, having him deal with the like his mom's affairs and having to go to the deserted farmhouse and just like try to attempt to, you know, pack everything up, but oh, let's have a shootout and then, we have to, you know, change clothes and then fight more people and da da da.
Mhm.
Like I don't know, it was just the way it was like played out on screen. It just kind of, I don't know. It just, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
almost feel like it could have just been like we see him go there and we see them kind of, come across those bad guys or whatever, and then we just like cut. Because it just seemed like another fight scene with Nolan. And I was like, I mean, is this gonna be another 15-minute scene of the fight? And them like hobbling through the desert? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And then um for Bailey, I didn't really, I mean, not that, I mean, Jenna did kill the physicality of having to be underwater, underground in the tank. Um,
mhm.
but I just didn't really, I mean, just like the fact that the intruders or the masked assailants in the finale went after her because she's, connected to Nolan, but she's not actually a police officer. I didn't really, I mean, I get it only because of her connection to John. Rosalind would, go after her, but it's like, just why?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just why? Um, yeah. And then I also said why for Aaron and Selena, just the
Mhm.
season finale, just why? Of course, also for Aaron, I didn't really, I mean, the side plot of, Lucy trying to help him, uh, live within his means was a little random just since he reverted back to his high class
Yeah.
spending habits anyway. Because he was like, oh, nope, I can't do this. I tried that, try it for a day or two and I can't do it. So
Yeah.
I was just like, why?
I would be curious to know why they put that in there. If it was
Yeah,
just to show like
I don't know.
him trying to figure it out, or if it was meant to go somewhere else and they just decided not to. I don't know.
Yeah,
It seemed a little odd to me, but
yeah. And then for Gray, I just hated the, line of he can't lose another officer. Because it was, I mean, I'm assuming it was a Jackson reference. I don't know what else it would be, you know,
yeah.
uh, for or about. And so I was just like, it just hurt.
Hmm.
It just hurt. And I
Yeah.
hate seeing him like be sad.
Hmm.
So,
I just remembered we still don't know what Lopez's baby girl's name is.
oh my gosh, we don't.
Also, how has it only been like 3 weeks since the rookie finale? I feel like I've lived like it's been like a month or 2 months since then. Like, I don't know. It just seems like it's been a really long time since there's been a new episode of The Rookie. But some of it's because I feel like they finished early, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
shows are like wrapping up this week or they did last week for finales. So,
Yeah.
yeah. For some of my least favorite storylines, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure that there's one for Lucy, but like at the moment, I can't think of one. Like, there's not a storyline that I don't like for her. Like, this woman is an angel. She can do no wrong in my eyes. So, um, and for Tim, I have Ashley breaking up with him while he's in the hospital room. Like, I get it. They just weren't at the same spot. They were never going to be whatever. But, like, wrong place, wrong time here, girl. Like, what? He's literally laying flat. It's not even like he's propped up in the bed. Like he's laying flat on his back and you're just gonna break up with him. Like, no.
Yep.
Yeah, that was just not cool. But Nyla not being able to have Leah in peace, like deliver Leah in peace, was not one of my favorite moments, but also seeing her be a baddie was one of my favorite moments. So it's kind of contradictory. And also in the same season, like she had Leah taken and left outside by a tree, random, but like this baby has lived through a lot in a short time. And Nyla and James were like involved in that bank robbery. And yeah, so then for Angela, I have, well, it's really for Angela and Wesley, but the storyline with the female home security bodyguard, Charlie was her name, right? It's like
Yeah.
Elijah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't really like
Yeah.
it too much either.
It was kind of one of those that I kind of forgot about, I think, because I didn't like it. And I was just like, we knew that nothing was going to happen. And Angela knew that Wesley wasn't going to go there, but like, why she let herself spin out about it and like make it a thing just seemed silly to me. I did like everyone's like opinions on it, but I was just kind of like annoyed how it was alluded to it. Like we're like,
Yeah.
you know, we know Wesley's not going to do anything, especially when they've got a second baby on the way. Like, I don't know. It just seemed a little weird to me. For Nolan, when him and Selena were first getting in the shop and he asked if someone was like smoking weed in there and she was like, no, like I saged it on her first day. I don't know. I get it. Like he was a little thrown off, but like he was skeptical of her. And I don't know. I guess, yeah, he probably should have been more open-minded, but I also just love Lisette and I loved Selena. And I was like, no one is skeptical about this woman. Like, no, we love her.
Yeah. He just kind of didn't really think before he spoke. He just was kind of like,
Yeah.
what is this? And I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I get what you mean.
And then this one I pulled out from the depths of my memory, and I remembered how much I thought that this storyline was really weird, odd, and honestly a little annoying. But it was Bailey catching the coyote and thinking that it was a puppy. Remember that? That was when they
happened?
Yes. Remember, she was like, look at
Oh.
what I found. It's a puppy. Because it was like in the house, like underneath the house or whatever. Like, and they kept hearing it scratch.
Oh, right. When she like said that she was going under to check this stuff and then she like found that. Oh
It
my
was
God.
like on her day off. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And she was like, look at what I found. It's a puppy. Can we keep it? And John's like, that's a coyote. Yeah. Yeah. I repressed to that because I was like, this is just no. I don't know. It was supposed to be funny, I know, but like honestly, it just like, are we supposed to believe that Bailey is that gullible or whatever? Like to actually think that that was a puppy? I don't know. It just seemed like all out of place for me. It seemed out there, and honestly, I felt like it made her look like kind of an airhead. And I like Bailey, but I was kind of like, I don't know. I guess some dogs do kind of like look like coyotes, point ears, like longer snout. But yeah, I was just like, this is not one of my favorite storylines. And it wasn't even a storyline, it was like a moment more so.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, no. So and then I agree with Carrie on the finale for Aaron. We did not need that. And I'm gonna need Aaron Thorson to pull through.
Yep.
Solely because I cannot lose anyone else in a fictional TV show.
Literally can't.
Like, as much as it may sound dramatic, I literally cannot lose anyone else on a fictional TV show. But yeah, so that's that for Aaron. For Selena, I've got her going rogue to find the little girl. Honestly, trying to find a least favorite storyline or moment for Selena was a lot like Lucy. It was like, I can't think of one like that I really did not like. There were a few that I was kind of like, okay, yeah, this one wasn't like my favorite, but I don't know. I love Selena so much. But yeah, her going rogue to find the little girl, like I can understand why she did, but at the same time, I was like, slow down. Like you can still care deeply, but like you're still so new. Because she was like bucking or like, you know, going against Nolan's like orders or whatever. So and then for Gray, yeah, I don't know. I just said Gray and Tim being on the hospital together from like food poisoning.
Oh, that's right. Gray was in the bed like the next bed over or whatever.
And Lucy was like, it's like a sleepover. Yeah.
Forgot about that.
It was beginning of the season. I mean, it wasn't bad. It just, I don't know. I just didn't like him and Tim like being out of commission. But then like Lucy checking in on them. I mean, we did get comedic moments from it, especially when they found out that Smitty was in charge, or when they were like, yeah, Smitty's gonna be in charge now. So yeah.
Oh, Smitty. More Smitty.
I know, like, he's not a regular, so he's recurring, right? He needs to become a regular.
Yeah.
What do we have to do to get Brett Huff on this show as a regular?
I don't know.
I mean, this man gives and gives.
Mm-hmm.
Smitty has shown up in Feds.
Yeah, just like okay, they'll just like make him regular. No, see, but then we gotta
Yeah.
we gotta know the status of Feds first. Oh God,
Yeah.
details.
But okay, wait, but can you see Quigley Smitty as an FBI agent? Because I cannot.
I mean, if you didn't know him, honestly, just the fact that his like first name is Quigley,
Yeah.
that's kind of like a, like it sounds like a smart.
Yeah.
I mean, Smitty has his own form of intelligence, don't get me wrong, but just like he's not like the classic, like book smart
Yeah.
person, even though his name kind of alludes to that. Like, I don't
Would
know.
you say
Just in
he's
my
street
opinion.
smart then? I don't know
I
what he
don't
is.
know. Yeah, he just
He's his own form.
kind of like, I mean, it depends. It's, I don't know, situational intelligence.
Mhm.
I don't know, because sometimes he can pick up the common sense factors, other times he can't.
Yeah.
Sometimes he kind of knows, the streets, other times he's like, I don't, because he doesn't go out on the field as much.
Hmm.
And then it's like, other times he can know when to butt out of conversations, and then other times he's like, oh no, let me do this. I'll, find this out for you.
And sometimes okay, I just kind of put this together. He is very much like Joey from Friends. Like he will kind of say like off the cuff things and just kind of like be like the idiotic best friend, but also like will say really smart things at times. And it's like,
Mhm.
okay, he had a good point there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's an episode we should do. Is like ranking the rookie and rookie Feds characters to like sitcom characters. Like pick a few sitcoms. I love that
Oh
idea. We should
gosh.
do that. Like Friends, The Office wouldn't really
Experience.
work. Or would it? No.
I mean, I don't know. We could maybe see.
Yeah, because they work in an office there, but like they do pranks. Yeah, I don't know. But we would have to figure it out because that would be fun. That would be really fun to do.
Mhm.
So this wasn't in our outline, but what was your favorite cold open? You probably don't really remember a lot off the top of your head because
Oh
like
God.
some of the time the cold opens don't have much to do with the episode.
Um, I don't know off the top of my head, to be honest. Um, I can't really. Oh gosh, I don't know. Like scenes are like running together in my head from both shows now.
Yeah,
Um,
I would say the Daddy Cop one only because now I've got the song stuck in my head.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that was classic. Um, I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my head.
We should do an episode where we rank the cold opens too. But I don't know because that's always like subjective too. So it'd be fun
Mhm.
though. Yeah. So we'll move on to the rookie feds because oh my gosh, this was their first season. Like the
Mhm.
entire season, they weren't even going to get a full season at the start.
Mhm.
And then they got slated for the extra 9. So yeah, what were some storylines or predictions that you expected to see but didn't?
I just thought we'd have more familial backstory as far as like for Laura and Carter. I mean, because we see like their relationships, which is fine, but I mean,
Mhm.
we obviously get, we've seen a lot of Simone's family. Um, we at least know some about Brendan's parents. Um, yeah, I don't know. That and then just when I had seen that when I saw, I can speak proper English, it's fine. Um, the sponsor storyline, I just thought we'd actually get to see, like, before, even before it was shown like before the episode aired, when I saw the episode description, I was like, oh, okay, we're actually gonna like see Brendan, I don't know, like some part of his journey, or like, I don't know, just some interaction with, the, his sponsor, or I don't know, if he went to rehab, like or, continually goes to AA. So then I'd be like, a group member, or see him go to a group. Like, I don't know. I just thought
Yeah.
we'd see a little bit more, or just in different ways, for different parts of his journey, I guess. But then again, it's,
The
they're in their
first
first
season.
season. Yeah. Not a lot of time for personal things, but
Yeah. For me, I don't know. Honestly, more of the team outside of work. Like, I get it. The show's based off of them at work, and like it's a heavy procedural, I guess, because they are following more of a case, like step by step, and the FBI jargon and everything. But I would love to see their life outside of work. Like that Thanksgiving episode just is ingrained in me. Like I loved that.
yeah.
So I hope that we get more of that in season 2. That and like them hanging out at Laura's house, like, oh my God, before it all went like a shit hit the fan. That was just a great moment. So yeah, hopefully we get more of that in season 2, crossing our fingers. And then like Carrie said, usually like the first season is like for building up characters, but like backstory is something that I feel like we needed in season 1. Because I feel like that's when you build them up. And I feel like we only built up Simone, and then like did a little bit of the other characters, like threw them a bone here and there. But I understand Simone being like built up the most, like she's the lead of the show or whatever, but I would still just like to see more backstory for season 2. And then I don't know why, but like last night I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, whatever happened to Tracy?
Yeah.
The person that was like going against Garza. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess like we knew she was going to be around. We didn't really know until like episode 1 or whatever, but I don't know. I just expected her to be around longer. And I kind of figured she'd be around a lot, like, but she stopped in the mid-season premiere, like coming around, because between the Carter stuff with her trying to get him to become a mole and the Garza stuff, like there was opportunity there.
Yeah, those are in my least favorite moments.
Yeah, there was opportunity there, but I feel like they just kind of dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And I don't really know her role. But then again, they didn't really give us time to care about her. So I was kind of like, okay, great. So, yeah. What about some of your favorite storylines?
I mean, like I had said earlier, I usually tend to like the first episode of things, so like any kind of pilot episode. I usually enjoy, so I really did enjoy the Rookie Feds pilot. I liked when Simone and Carter went undercover. I forget to what island they went to or whatever, to like pull the witness out, and then they had to go back or whatever, and then we got that nice scene at the end.
Yeah, that was a good team scene.
Yeah. But when they got stuck and they thought they were stuck in their way out, it was just, I mean, just the dynamic was hilarious. So I really liked that episode. The documentary episode, loved that they did that for Feds, because that was one thing I guess that surprised me, or I didn't expect to see, was a documentary episode for Feds.
Yeah.
But I was glad that they did one. And loved when Brunson got to go undercover in Belarus. I mean, I know there's lots of opinion about the use of the word crossover, but for this lack of a better word, I did enjoy seeing, any of the crossovers. I thought they were, pretty good. And then the Vegas scenes in the finale, loved those.
Yeah, Simone winning like the jackpot or whatever. And
Literally, I was like,
no way.
Yeah, I was like, why couldn't that have been me like 2 years ago when I went to Vegas? Like, damn, I was so jealous.
Literally same. I lose like $10 on scratch offs, and I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah, my luck is terrible. I can't. Like, I was so jealous.
Yeah. I guess that's something that I would be like that I would add to the surprise that we did, or just something that I wasn't really expecting was so many crossovers. Again,
That's fair.
crossovers in quotes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I figured we'd get like one, maybe two, but it
Mhm.
seems like we had quite a bit.
Yeah. Definitely wasn't expecting the one at the end. Like the
Yeah.
121, 521 thing.
Yeah. And they were crossovers more in like the storyline aspect.
Mhm.
So yeah. Some of my favorites, Brenson meeting Chenford, literally my favorite people ever. So more of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I just need more Brendan Akers. I miss that man. The first episode where Brendan ripped his pants. Oh my god, literally my favorite thing ever. I don't know why. It
Oh
was
my
just
God. Yeah.
I think because in that moment when that happened, I was like, I'm gonna love him already. Like I feel like he's just chaotic.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
my gosh, why does that remind me of when Eric ripped his pants? Like for real in the season 1, like when they were shooting.
wait,
Because Melissa
what?
told that story. Remember? He like ripped like the whole entire thing of his pants or whatever, like during
Oh my
season
god.
1
No,
and
I
like
don't remember
filming.
that.
And Melissa like told the story over the HomeCon thing in 2020. And he
Oh
was
my
like, why are
god.
you he was like, why are you gonna tell this story? And she's like, nope, I'm gonna do it. It's fine. So she just like told everyone.
Listen, she got to tell that, and he got to tell the story about her thinking that Chenford should be brother and sister instead of
True.
a relationship. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That just reminded me of that. So
Mhm. The penultimate with Laura. I mean, listen, it was a lot. It was a great episode. I loved the team scrambling to find her. I did not like her being in peril, but Laura/Brett killed it. Killed it. That wasn't like not so much in that episode, but the premise of it like focusing on one character in the team, like finding them. I feel like we could have had like at least another one to just like show like the capabilities of these characters. Obviously, it wouldn't have been exactly like it, which is fine, but yeah. So, and then Cuddy and Ruth dating, and Simone and Dina like navigating it, but also
oh
like
yes.
hooking up was fun.
Yeah.
He's just one of my favorites. Like Cuddy Clark is just one of my favorites. Like his expressions, his little one-liners, it's just funny. So, and then probably one of my most favorite storylines of all was Carter with the Bigfoot.
Oh
This
my
man was
God.
so hyped about it. Like I need if we get a season 2, I need a callback to that. I need a callback, and I don't know what that callback would be, but I need someone to bring it up, and
Yeah.
like preferably Simone, because I know she would just like rib him on it. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Filling out the feds part of this outline was like so easy. I think because they only have one season.
Oh my God. Yeah. No, it was so simple. I was like, okay, I got it. I got it. I got
Yeah,
it. It's fine.
and it's so weird because like the rookie airing before feds and like all the Chenford stuff, I felt like I blacked out some of the rookie feds. Like there were times when I was like, wait, that happened. But doing this outline, I was like, oh my gosh, I remember all of these moments. So, but yeah, and then another one of my favorites was all the different ships in the show, not like relationship-ies, but like just friendships and how they all started. I guess relationships more so like Carter and Fortune, like how he knew her mom and their friendship grew. And then Statlas, how he like inched his way in and she opened up. And then Brendan and Antoinette, like how he's still unsure of himself, but Antoinette's like showing him he can open up and trust a little more. I love how like they all started in different ways, but it was always like one was kind of a little weary of it. So
literally almost all of the characters like had a romantic or like love interest in feds, which was interesting.
Yeah, because I guess Elena did, right?
Yeah. I mean, Garza had his ex-wife come back, and we saw his past relationship, but yeah.
Yeah. What about something or a few things that surprised you the most about the rookie feds this season?
I mean, I was just surprised by like how much I loved the show. I mean, I was
Mhm.
excited to see the cast like work together,
Yeah.
but I didn't know how it would be because I was like, oh, okay, it's like within the rookie universe, but like I'd only known Niecy for like her comedy
Hmm.
roles. And so I had never seen her um, on a procedural. Even though I mean, yes, the rookie universe, like because the rookie is more, balances
Yeah.
comedy a lot with the drama, um, but it's been great and the pairs work so well and the camaraderie is superb. So
Yeah.
really like that. Um, Also how much Brenson is, as others have called them, like a gender bent Chenford. Like I didn't really know they'd go all out with the
Hmm.
with that. I mean, I don't think it was intentional. But
Right.
it just, but they did and it works. Um, so I was kind of just surprised by how much it did work. Um, and then despite me, you know, loving Brenson, um, I was also surprised by how much I like Antoinette and Mark um for Brendan and Laura.
Yeah.
Um, and because like with like Chenford versus, Chris and Ashley, it's like you just knew who belonged together and who
Right.
didn't. Um, but I do like Statless, and I don't think we have a ship name for Brendan and Antoinette, but um, yeah, I like those pairings too. And the fact that Brendan and Mark have their bromance
Hmm.
as well.
Yeah. I would say if we can't have Brenton like as a relationship, I'm cool with having Brendan and or Antoinette and Mark being in there.
Mhm.
So yeah. Um, I would say what I think surprised me the most was not seeing the team like working together or switching pairs a lot. Like, granted, the rookies have to stay with their training agent. I don't know. I was just like hoping we would get like a switch up for an episode or two, like where they worked the case and stuff together, like a
Mhm.
whole episode of that, not just like a few little scenes or whatever.
Mhm.
And I feel like Brendan and Laura were usually at the bureau together and like on the rare occasion out, whereas like Simone and
Mhm.
Carter were
Mhm.
usually out doing things and then like reporting back to everyone at the bureau. So I would kind of like to see that switched in season 2 a little bit more.
Mhm.
Um,
Especially with how
but
like
yeah,
badass Brenson was in the finale with
yeah,
like at the field office and like the shootout
yeah.
and stuff. So
And I feel like Simone and Carter, I mean, I don't know, maybe this was just like a thing because Simone's like the lead or whatever, but I feel like anytime that Brendan and Laura went out to like do something like question someone, there was usually like a chase involved or like they were
mm-hmm.
getting like injured.
Yeah, because
And
I'm sure if you
maybe,
go back, you can hear me say, "Oh, they get paid to run a lot
yeah,
or paid a lot to run."
yeah. But I feel like that wasn't, I mean, there was like a shootout that happened for Simona and Carter, but I feel like there wasn't totally that much action like anytime they would go out, unless I'm just blocking out memories, which is very possible. But
I mean,
yeah,
not like as much as a duo, like
yeah,
I mean, when they would go to, like question people and like, Simone was attacked at the hospital, granted not
hmm,
outside, but still kind of out in the field, or, when
yeah,
Carter had to shoot the one suspect, although he was him and Laura were chasing,
yeah.
not him and Simone. So
And then I was also surprised by how much I loved Simona and Carter's partnership. Like I knew James from Good Girls, and he played like an FBI agent there too, and I knew he would kill it, but I hadn't watched Niecy in many things, so I was pleasantly surprised by like how much I loved their dynamic. So
mhm.
yeah, um, but that's also not to say that I wouldn't like to see them interact like Carter and Brendan together and Laura and Simone. Like I
Yeah.
would just kind of like to see that. Plus, like I wonder like what would happen after their training period. Like they just
Mm.
become like agents, like Laura and Carter, and then what do they don't get rookies of their own, but they bring in 2 new rookies or a new rookie or something. Like I would just be really interested to see that. So yeah. Another one of my oh wait, no, now we have favorite moments for each character. So take it away.
Okay. For Brendan, I liked when we got to meet his dad. When we, learned about the fact that he was sober and that, just that kind of a little bit of that backstory for him. And then just the scene, when he and Mark are in the one hotel room and Mark gets him to try the like technique where he thinks of sink puppies. And then it actually works in the time of peril when Mark's actually injured. It was great.
Yeah.
Loved that moment. I don't know if it was just like how Kevin did each of those scenes. I don't know, but it was just, it was one of my favorite moments.
I did love when he was talking to Mark in the motel room and he was just like vulnerable. He was like, yeah, like I don't really do well with blood or whatever. That was a good moment. So
for Carter, I liked when he went on the dating app. That was hilarious. And I mean, really any of James's one-liners, but especially when he wanted the one nice moment with Fortune and Simone literally just walks in, barging in through the hospital doors, and he just like looks up at the ceiling and he's like, why does God hate me?
Yeah.
It's just my favorite thing. Like I can't convey how much I love that line. It was just one of the most relatable things I've ever heard a TV character say.
Well, I just love when she was like, hey Carter, what's up? Or whatever. And I was like,
yeah,
that's a whole mood there too.
Yeah.
Well, I watched the scene where Simone and Brendan are like walking into the bullpen and Simone's like, hey Carter, are you and Antoinette dating? And he's like,
that's what I was
comes
just
over.
gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, in a similar way. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love Carter Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. And then for Laura, obviously, I mean, 121 was phenomenal for her. But I also really enjoyed the burn run episode when she finally got her house. And just like her, being all excited, like, oh, I bought this house, and having to like actually let Brendan help her write the letter and everything. Was great. And I mean, obviously I loved the double date housewarming party scene, minus the abduction. I also really liked when she told Kate off. That was episode 3 or 4, I think it was. That was good just to see her stand up for herself. And then when her relationship with Atlas was kind of outed during the documentary episode, so she got snarky with the documentary people. That was fun. So yeah. For Simone, on like the heartfelt side of things, just when she read one of her mom's letters aloud, that was really touching. And just like her friendship moments with Brendan and like their handshake. Like we had, Selena and Aaron have their handshake, but Simone and Brendan have theirs. And so that's just fun. And like it's cool that there is a platonic, guy and girl like can be friends. That's totally cool kind of thing. Yeah. For Garza, just little moments for him, honestly. His, divorce advice for Carter when they're lounging by the pool in those chairs was great.
Yes.
I mean, I liked meeting his ex-wife, Candace, just to, there's this person from Garza's past, and now we're going to see how it affects his present a little bit. And then also when he was being wheeled out of the hospital by Brenson and he wanted in on the
Yeah.
goss. And I was like, just the fact that like they got Felix Solis to just be like, I want the goss. Like not gossip, but goss. I don't know. It just cracks me up so much.
Yeah.
So
That was relatable too.
Yeah.
Like it's like when you come back from work come back to work after being on vacation, you're just like, okay, coworkers, like what did I miss out on?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
For Elena, I liked when she, you know, kind of had the relatable like 20s something struggle of I don't really know what I want to do, but you know, she knows that she loves working there, and so just her, you know, admitting that to Garza was a nice like moment for them. And then when she and Antoinette worked together though, and it kind of, you know, dawned on her, oh, maybe she'd be good at, you know, forensics. I can't think of the like actual like I don't know, a forensic technician. I don't know what the heck it's called.
I
It's
looked
escaping me.
it up and it's like a laboratory technician, forensic biologist or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then similarly, Antoinette, I liked when she just got to use her skills, especially to go in, like get suited up and go in to look at the drone device when they had the terror attack to solve. And I mean, I liked when she and Brendan had all their coupley moments, but just the like one that stood out to me was like when she finally had enough and told Brendan as much while he was trying to help her shoot the video or the instructional video.
Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting because usually it was kind of like her reassuring him, you know, that things were good, and then it's like, oh no, like she has, you know,
Yeah.
some, you know, things that she wants to have happen or not happen, and so it was just a different dynamic for them. And then for Cuddy, I liked when he stood up for Simone against one of his friends when he made that you know, offhanded comment. And when he hosted the whole group for Thanksgiving. That was really nice. And then I don't know, they didn't do it as much in the back half of the season, but just like when he like checked in on Simone like via FaceTime.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was like kind of cool that they use that technology aspect. And then I don't know, it's just nice to like see
nice to see
faces
something
at
other
the
than like
same time.
texting.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So that was just nice, cool thing for them to do.
Yeah. For me, I loved learning more about Brendan and his sobriety. And I liked how they kind of like roped that in with Kevin's like personal life too. So and then his relationship with his dad, like again, just anytime that we get backstory, I'm here for it. I'll eat it all up, like it's fine. And Brendan's bromance with Mark, something I never knew I needed. Like I loved how we had, and this show like really kind of stressed it, right? Like platonic friendships between Brendan and Laura, and like Brendan and Simone, and even Brendan and Elena. Like it just showed that guys can be friends with girls, like in a work setting and stuff, or just like in any setting. But then even showing like, hey, Brendan's partners with Laura, and Laura's got this boyfriend, and he's friends with him too. Like I don't know, I just loved that whole like triangle. So, yeah, so that was something that I loved. And then again, the whole Bigfoot thing with Carter was my absolute favorite. And I like how they like brought it back around in the documentary. Or wait, yeah, because it was two separate ones. So yeah, James killed it. And yeah, I just love how they kept it a running thing for him. And hopefully season 2, when we get that, it will be another like mention of it. And then for Laura, I mean, gosh, the penultimate was Britt's episode. Like it did not disappoint. At least for me, it didn't. But
I feel bad for everyone who didn't watch it. That's all I have to say. Like,
and you're someone that didn't watch it live.
No, I did not.
I literally spoiled it for you on the podcast episode.
I was so upset with myself, but it was great though to like hear my live reaction.
Honestly, that's probably one of my favorite podcast moments is literally spoiling the episode for you and just your reaction the entire time. because you're just like, what? This happened? I'm
I
like,
was like, oh my
yeah.
God. Yeah.
I felt so bad, but then I was also like, she's fine. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, totally fine.
Because if you didn't get spoiled by me, you would have gotten spoiled by Twitter, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so then for Simone, I loved seeing the Reaper episode where like she went undercover. It like showed a new side of herself. She went
Oh,
undercover a few times, so
oh
I
my
liked
gosh,
kind
I've
of seeing that.
forgotten about that one.
Hmm.
Because that was right at, yeah, because they did the one where they went, yeah, because it was the Felicia episode and then they did the Reaper episode.
Uh-huh.
I totally
Yeah.
forgot about that. They did that like back to back.
Yeah. For Garza, I liked when he stood up to Tracy and stuck up for his team. And then for Elena, just the penultimate episode again, like where she was working closely with Antoinette. It's something that I kind of didn't expect to see, like her working with forensics, that is. I don't know what I figured she would do with the FBI, but I didn't really think forensics was going to be that.
Yeah.
Like, was going to be her niche for it.
Mhm.
And then for Antoinette, just when her and Brendan went undercover, loved that. Loved learning more about her, kind of finding out like some of her personality traits. Especially because she's not like she's part of the cast, but
Yeah.
she's not like the core group that we always see.
Mhm.
I mean, we did see her quite a bit, but like I don't know, you get it. Like she just yeah, she's not like in their core team that they work with day in and day out. So it was nice to kind of get to know a little bit more about her. And then her and Brendan's first date too. Like unlike Balin, they can have normal dates. We don't see them, which is
Yeah.
a little disappointing. But like they can have normal dates and talk about them. Whereas Balin, they try and have a salad for dinner, and then it gets
Then it gets blown to shreds.
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I love Brendan and Antoinette together. Like I would love Brenson too, but like again,
Mhm.
if we're not gonna have Brenson, I'm totally fine with Brendan and Antoinette.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then for Cuddy, I mean, this dude is just hilarious. Like, really, any moment with him is great. I loved the Thanksgiving episode when we got to see him with his grandkids, the big found family scene at the end. I loved when he was, in the hospital and he was like, "Oh, don't worry about me." I loved like the book club. This man's
Oh my
just funny.
gosh, yeah, book club.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh.
guess I didn't really expect to love him so much. I don't know why. I guess I just wasn't really expecting to see Simone's dad a lot
Yeah.
in the show, so
Mhm.
which we love it.
Yeah.
So, and then we have least favorite moments for each character. Why don't you
Yeah.
start with Brendan?
So for someone that loved the documentary episode as much as I did, that's still true. And I liked learning more about his vampire cop past, but like just some of it just didn't jive with me for whatever reason. I don't know, because like I was more of a fan of when he kind of just randomly, would kind of just say like, oh yeah, this reminds me of that time, he played a hacker or whatever, like you mentioned it in the pilot episode, and just, like just little like tidbits. So we got to know more about, his other roles. Because, if his IMDb is legendary, then I don't know, I would like to get, more like hear more about it.
Yes.
I don't know, like I don't know what I expected. It just I don't know with the vampire cop thing. I guess I I don't know. Like I said, I guess just because I did when you say vampire cop, I don't know what I think of
Mm-hmm.
or what I thought of, but now it's like since it's already been on screen, that is what I think of is the documentary episode that we
Yeah.
saw.
I will say I'm glad that we saw it because they were bringing it up, here and there. And I was kind of like, are we gonna see this at all? Are we not? Because at this point, you're bringing it up so much that it's like, okay, I need to see it to like see what we're working with here.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I'm with you. Like, can we talk about some other parts of his IMDb?
That being said, though, I still want the shirts that like Lucy had
Yeah.
gotten from him, like the crime sucks, and then the one with his face on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for Carter, um making him the mole at the beginning of the season and then having him like report to Tracy, I just like, why? What was the reason?
Yeah.
Um and then what Jennifer said about Lucy, I will say about Laura, because she's an angel and can do no wrong. So really nothing. But then I was like trying to think of one. I just like I just didn't love how she had to keep getting beat up by people. Like
Uh-huh.
she got beat up in Belarus and then tied up, and then she got kidnapped in 121. I was like, God, give her a break. Like, come
Well,
on.
even like when her and Brendan had to go and do chase scenes when they were
Yeah.
questioning people, like she was getting like beat up.
Yeah, and handcuffed to the post or
Yeah,
whatever, and then like all the thing. Yeah. Just yeah. No
it's
fun.
not necessary. We don't need to do that to
Mm-mm.
Laura Stenson.
Nope. Um, and I don't know, like for Simone, I kind of wish they'd had either kept, Dina around all season or not. I see, and I can't even remember the character names, but the guy that was her rival in high school or college or something, that
Wasn't
was
it
like,
Greg?
is that it?
Let
Yeah,
me
that
see.
sounds right. Um, and then the congressman that I can't remember his name either. I just didn't understand why like introduce them if they weren't gonna be like her next
Yeah.
relationship because they just kind of fell away afterwards. I mean, nothing wrong with like, quick hookup, like, she can do, she
Hmm.
can do that. That's totally cool. But I just like, I don't know. I just didn't get it. Um, oh, and then also like really minor, like nitpicky thing, but I thought the wedding dress cold open with her and Brendan was gonna be a full like undercover thing,
Hmm.
but they only used it for the cold open. That
Yeah.
was like my least favorite moment because I thought it was going to be something. I guess that also could have gone under the things that, I expected but didn't see. I thought
Hmm.
that was going to be a whole thing because Niecy filmed, the trying on of the dresses or, help pick one or whatever. And then it
Yeah.
was like just for that. Um,
Okay. I
yeah.
know that I watched parts of the episode where the guy from like her high school came in
Yeah.
last night, but I don't remember what episode it was. So let me just like see.
I can
Okay,
like picture the scene. I just can't remember. I can't remember anyone's name. I can't remember.
so Countdown was one of the episodes. Let me see his name. Greg sounds familiar, but yeah, Greg,
I think
right?
so. Yeah.
Okay. I don't, yeah, that was the episode when they were looking for the scientists, missing scientists in the national forest. That's when the Bigfoot came up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, at least we got one of the names.
Yeah.
It's been
Um,
a while, so.
yeah, it has. For Garza, I didn't like how he was being blamed for the thing that happened in Panama and being charged with
Mhm.
espionage. I was like, again, just like why? Like,
Yeah.
why do we gotta like harp it all on to him? And then like his interactions with Tracy got repetitive after a while. Like every like every time she'd like walk into his office, I was like, oh God, here we go again. Like,
Yeah.
what else could she possibly have to say? It was just like,
Right.
yeah. Um, and then for I don't know, these next like three were like really again kind of nitpicky and kind of random. But like for Elena, the moment where again I can't think of the one lady, but the one lady that Brendan came by to arrest or whatever that worked at
Yeah.
the office, and she, they were talking or whatever, and she had mentioned, oh well, like, Elena, you trash talk, your uncle all the time. Like, what was the point? I just didn't get
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. It was just, yeah, just, I just didn't get the point of it. Um, and then I don't know. I didn't like Antoinette's initial brush off of Brendan, like not drinking the wine.
Mhm.
I kind of thought it was just a little quick, like rush to, kind of write him off for that. But then it
Yeah.
just like took so long for them to actually like get together. I was
Mhm.
like, I was getting a little impatient because there was like mixed signals, like, oh, he would be like, ready to ask her out, then she would pull back, and then like, she
Yeah.
would be like, oh, why, what took you so long? And then he's like, well, I didn't think you, were
Right.
interested anymore. So it's just a lot of back and forth, which is just not my favorite thing for either of them, but especially for her, because I was just like, because they're so good together. Now that they
Mhm.
are together, I just needed them
Yeah.
to get their shit together. um, and then again, not that like I didn't like the hospital storyline for Cuddy, I just kind of felt like a throwaway mini plot. I just didn't really
Yeah.
understand like
Yeah.
what was going on. Just a lot of I just didn't understand why they put it in there.
Well, and it was kind of like at the end of the season, I'm like, okay, if we were gonna make this a whole thing,
Mhm.
one, he would have had to have like more of a sickness or whatever, and two,
Yeah.
should have been like earlier in the season.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like even just what he ended up having just seemed like, why are we making this a thing? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Quick. Okay, so so Greg was the old acquaintance.
Mhm.
That was the accountant. Congressman Damian Roberts was the hookup.
Right.
Yeah.
Damien. Gosh darn it. Yeah, that name was not coming to me
And they
at
were
all.
getting confusing though because they did look alike and I don't know, it was a lot. So, yeah. Yeah. Some of my least favorite moments. I have to agree for like Brendan, I have to agree with Carrie on the Vampire Cop. Like it was fine. I'd rather learn about some of his other roles though. Like I feel like we've heard a couple of those. Can we just learn about them now? Um, but also the storyline where like he went to the table read and then found out the writer or showrunner or whatever was up to no good. And I don't know. I know it was supposed to remind us that he wasn't going back to acting, but I just like wasn't a fan of it. I was
Oh my God,
kind
I
of like,
forgot
why
about
are we
that
doing
too.
this?
Yeah, I totally forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like it was kind of just like a mini throwaway plot. But then didn't like Brendan find out that he was involved with like some Fed stuff? So I guess
Mhm.
it did make sense. But
Yeah.
for Carter, the ex-wife showing up at the restaurant when Carter and Fortune did. I mean, can we just like let them live in peace? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I was kind of just like annoyed with that. I'm like, let them have a normal date, please.
Yeah. I almost put that in some part of the Fed's outline, like that moment. I just
Yeah.
decided not to for whatever reason, but totally agree.
They've had normal dates though before, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, are they gonna be like Balin and not be able to have normal
No.
dates? Because no. Also, okay, is Fortune gonna meet Carter's son at some point?
Oh, yeah.
I kind of like I want to meet Carter's son.
Yeah.
We haven't heard that much about him, but like he built that little like wooden go-kart or whatever for his Boy Scout thing, so why not?
Mm-hmm.
The storyline for Laura where she wasn't wanting to move back to DC to be with Mark and like basically axing that from the get-go, like I don't know, that wasn't really my favorite one. I mean, I understand that she didn't want to go back there, but like also I felt like she was basically like telling Mark, I'm not compromising with you. It wasn't necessarily a bad storyline and he handled it well, but that little part just like irked me, even though everything ended up being fine for them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like it was just kind of one-sided in that part in that moment, but yeah. And then I don't know, this is like a hot take of mine, and I feel like I've said this before. But for Simone, the continuous mentions of her being a guidance counselor, like, kind of irked me. No hate, I love her, like, I respect her past and everything. But like, I just felt like there were times when it was brought up just to like be a flex or something. Like in
Yeah,
the
'cause there
true
were
crime. Oh, what?
oh no,
What?
just there were a couple of times where they were like, we're gonna check the Guidance Counselors Guild of America or whatever the heck
Yeah.
it was, and I was like, what network is this? Like, what does that have to do
Yeah.
with anything?
Yeah. But like I was watching a true crime documentary last night, like the beginning parts, and she's like, yeah, like, you know, I used to work in the media arts department, like substitute. And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just kind of like, okay, I get it. Like being a guidance counselor, you have to look at the psyche like of the student and like all the psychology and stuff, but like, and you get to become like really good and, you know, experienced with that. But
Yeah.
I just felt like they were almost giving it, like they were putting in gratuitous moments for her to be like, I was a guidance counselor, like here's a flex. And I'm just like, we don't need all of this mentioned all the time.
I mean that, and come to think about it, since I want to say the like a person's brain's not fully developed till you're like mid-20s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Children and adults are very different.
Yeah. I don't know. I was like comparing it to John too. And I was like, okay, sometimes they bring up his construction stuff, like, and how it can help him on the job. And then the team like uses him for his construction. But like, we don't hear about John like bringing up his bank robbery encounter. And
Yeah.
that's why he became a cop. Like, I don't know. I felt like it was kind of, it became annoying after some time. And it kind of felt like they were just building more of Simone's backstory up. And I was like, okay, can we like move on? But then again, like I understand where she's coming from. I know that like, you know, you have to kind of understand like a student's psyche or whatever. But yeah, I was just kind of annoyed with that. But yeah, hot take, but also just my opinion. No hate toward Simone. I love her, but yeah. So for Garza, I couldn't really think of one because I liked all of his storylines, but the heart attack plot and the mid-season finale, I get it, it was supposed to be a cliffhanger. I mean, I just didn't need that. Like, and it was mentioned in the mid-season premiere and like a little bit before that of him like having heart problems, but then we didn't hear any more about it or him like taking steps to prevent it.
Yeah.
So it just kind of like fell off.
I mean, he tried to make swaps out for food and stuff, and you know,
Yeah.
like he snuck the burrito into his office or whatever,
Yeah.
and Laura like threw it away.
But wasn't that like the first half of the season?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of felt like it was just like you said, the Rookie felt like two different seasons, like with pre-canon and then canon Chenford. Sometimes I feel like the Feds was like two different seasons. Maybe it's because they found their footing more in the back half, but yeah, the first half, like we saw Tracy, second half we didn't. First half we saw or we heard about Garza's heart, and like second half we didn't. Like, yeah, I don't know. Just felt like it kind of was lost. And it's not something that goes away either. So like it wouldn't have to be a long drawn out thing. Like 1 or 2 lines an episode would be fine, but yeah, just kind of weird that they like didn't bring it up anymore. And then Elena, like, I don't know, I feel like there wasn't a lot of specific moments for Elena this season, like where it was just her. We had the one that you had mentioned. And I agree, it was a weird moment. It wasn't one of my faves either. But yeah, I mean, we just need more like Elena like moments, standalone moments. So
yeah.
And then I had Antoinette on here. And I don't know, I was like trying to think of when this happened. And it was like, I know that it did because I remember talking about it. But when she was holding off on accepting Brendan's invite for a date, and she was kind of like, you know, kind of toying with the idea. And he was like, well, here, like, think about this. And like, he gave her like time to think and everything. I don't know. I get it. Like she was nervous and like he's her coworker and they needed it for drama, but like, it's also just a first date. It's not like she's his training agent or, you know, someone that works closely with him.
Yeah. They're not committing to anything by just going on a first date.
Right. And yeah, I mean, it would be awkward if like they did go on a first date and it didn't go well. And then he needed like bone fragments or something. But like, I feel like they kind of get over that. Like it's not like they're like on the same level playing field in the bureau as far as like in the team. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me. And then for Cuddy, it's not really a specific moment and it's not necessarily bad. and I think I said this before too, and it's a hot take in my opinion, but sometimes I got like annoyed with how he was with Simone's job.
Mm.
Like I get it, he's nervous and like anxious about it and stuff, and like he should worry about it, but I don't know him. I guess because I was watching the book club episode where he's like, "You had me worried like all night," and she's like, "I'm doing my job." I don't know. I was just kind of like, she's like a grown woman. I mean, I get it. She's living there with him, but like,
Mhm.
she's fine. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate it. I love him like watching out for her, but I was also kind of like, she made this decision. Like, she'll be
Mhm.
fine. So,
Yeah. Mhm.
but yeah, that's about it for the Rookie and Rookie Feds like season recap.
Mhm. Did we have
What
any last minute additions at all?
what was your favorite episode? This one might be a little hard because,
Oh
like we
gosh.
said, it seems like the seasons were like 2 years
Um,
long.
yeah. Uh, oh gosh. Uh, for the rookie, I mean, probably the mid-season, just because we got the 2 hours and it was
Hmm.
kind of action-packed, and it was like action-packed, but we still had the relationship moments.
Yeah.
I mean, those were a couple of my favorites. I mean, I did love the premiere. The premiere just seems like so long ago.
Yeah.
As bad as it sounds, barely remember it now. Like,
No,
I
same.
mean, I do, but like I don't at the same time.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. For Feds is honestly a little bit easier for me. I mean, it's like a tie between like, I mean, really like the penultimate episode for Feds was probably my favorite. But then like my favorite moment, which I don't understand how this escaped my memory, but when Brendan gave Laura her birthday present, I don't know what's wrong
Yes.
with
Oh
me
my
that I didn't
gosh.
include that. But yeah.
Fake Brenson fan right there. Fake
Yep, I
Brenson
know. I'm
fan.
terrible. It's so bad.
No,
What am I gonna
honestly,
do?
you're fine because I low key forgot it too. So,
That's yeah, yeah. So I
yeah.
think that was 107, I want to say. I
Hmm.
think. So I mean that episode was good if I remember the rest of it.
I mean, that just went on to show that Brendan is a great gift giver.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know what my favorite episodes would be. I mean, I guess 501 for the rookie. I don't know. I loved a lot of the rookie episodes this season. I would say for Feds, probably the first one, only because we got to meet everyone and
Mhm.
the backdoor pilot. Who was in the backdoor pilot? It was Garza and Simone, and then we
Um,
had Kat Foster,
yeah.
right? We didn't have like anyone else. So it was
Nope.
nice to kind of like get to meet like a new team of characters.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would say 101 was probably my favorite, the first episodes.
Mhm.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, that's about it for us tonight, I guess.
Mhm.
It's been a while since we recorded, so it was
Mhm.
nice. Real life was getting in the way, and yeah, we just
Yeah.
needed a little break.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of our schedule for the summer hiatus, it's going to be a little spread out. Because we have vacations, we have work, we have this, we have
Hmm.
that. But we'll be sure to let you know when we're gonna, have a new episode. Um, and if you would like to hear us, talk about something, I know we got a few responses to the
Yeah.
one tweet, which was cool because that's how we came up with this episode, was from Emily's
Hmm.
response. Um, so if you would like to hear us, discuss something on the podcast here, just send us a DM. On Twitter, we're at the Shop Talk Pod _, or you can email us at shoptalktherookiepodcast@gmail.com. Um, we definitely want to cover more of the actors' previous work, but if there's something like you think we should, you know, that's timely and we should cover sooner rather than later, let us know that too. Um, yeah. And obviously, despite, even though we'll be busy, we're usually always online at, one
Yeah.
place or another. So you can also find us on TikTok. We're at the Shop Talk Podcast _. And we're also individually on Twitter. I'm at Carrie Hyman.
And I'm at JStark804.
And with that, we will be back soon
Mhm.
again with another episode.
Yeah.
But we hope you enjoyed this one.
Yeah. Yeah, just stay tuned to our Twitter. We'll be, sharing stuff and yeah. So, and TikTok. We'll get back on there. I just have to figure some things out, come up with ideas.
Yeah.
But yeah, so bye everyone.
Bye guys.
Go get 'em, boo.